To the Alpha Art exhibition, oil and watercolor mixed media exhibition. We're so happy to have you participate in our exhibition, and I would like to get you more. Oh, sorry. I would like to know you more as an artist, so I'm going to ask you some questions.
Sure.
Could you tell me a little bit about the works you submitted, what inspired them, how you came to make these pieces?
Sure. No, thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm really excited to be part of this exhibition, and thank you for taking time to speak about my art. It's always been a pleasure to explain what I do, and it's why do I do. So yeah, this journey kind of started long back during my fine arts, and where in the final year I wanted to choose something which either of portraiture or landscapes. So, I mean, portraiture is pretty straightforward. It has a face in a painting that talks a lot about character and all. But I believe landscapes also has like a very strong character to themselves. Like even if I look at a tree, I look at it from a character's perspective that every object in the nature has its own characteristics. And I always wanted to emphasize on those characteristics. So the paintings which I'm trying to submit are mostly all done in monochromatic oil on canvas. And the reason I am doing them is in monochromatic is like I believe in this philosophy. So the theme of all my paintings is mist. So mist is like the fog mist. It's like, I kind of correlate that with life. It's like when you have something misty, like you're going on a misty road, you don't know what's gonna come in the next curve. It could be like a really fantastic landscape, or it could be like a deep slope. You don't know what's gonna come. It's the kind of same philosophy I feel with life, because with life you don't know what's gonna come next. And that's the beauty about it. Like that surprise element about this mist is what I try to capture in my paintings for this exhibition.
That's wonderful. That sounds really, really insightful. Could you tell me a little bit about your journey in becoming an artist?
Yeah, sure. The entire journey started when I think I was born. I was born in an artistic family. My father has his own workshop of sculptures. He's a sculptor. So I've been around understanding art since I was really a kid. And then that's what pushed me to pursue my art education. I did my fine arts in painting. And as I said, like in my final year, I had to choose between portraiture or landscapes, and that's where I kind of went towards creative painting more than the portraiture. But so that's where the entire thing started, and that's where I started meeting with a lot of like-minded people who were doing good work in art industry, and kind of I looked at their contribution towards society, that art is not really for my pleasure. Previously, that was my thought, like, okay, I'll make art because that makes me happy. Yes, it does make me happy, but it also has it has power to make a lot of positive changes in society. You can do a lot of positive messaging, and good messaging through your art that can change people's life. Like I have met people who meet me after looking at my paintings, they come and talk to me, and then they say that, okay, I was never looking at life from this perspective. And that's a good perspective to have, to look at the life. Sometimes, we get indulged in our life so much that we stop appreciating things around us. And I think that's what precisely an artist do. It's like the best thing artist has a power of deducting from what we see. It's like for a photograph, if you click a photograph of a hill, there could be houses, there could be trees, there could be rivers, there could be clouds, there could be birds, everything you can see in a photograph. But being an artist, we can always deduct elements which we don't want, make it less cluttered, and come up with that aesthetically beautiful vision of what actually ready-made life is giving you. So I think that's where artist holds a lot of power, and that's why I enjoy. being an
That's
artist
really
and doing
great.
those things.
Yes, I love being able to walk into an exhibition or a gallery and whatnot and really be able to pull like the subliminal messaging between the pieces. I think that your art really shows that, and that's very exciting. And we're very happy to have that go up in our gallery space.
Awesome.
Could you tell me a little bit about what motivates you to create and to come up with new ideas and new landscapes per se?
Yes. So I think every time I do set of landscape, it's like when I'm doing my current set of paintings, that itself tells me about a gap which I might be facing in the works which I'm doing right now. And that gap kind of push me to look further, expand my boundaries, look at the same thing in a different perspective. And that's what kind of motivates me to create and create and create and innovate on daily basis. Like I think that's good and bad, because that's kind of keeps me restless all the time because I'm never satisfied with what I've done. It's like once I finish my painting, I keep it for in a room for 7 8 days just to look at it, like where can I be better next time. And that's what kind of pushes me to come up with a newer version of the same thing. It's not necessary that I will completely switch from themes to themes. I normally like working on a same theme and kind of improve that same thing, because when I look back at 10 years from now, where I was and today what I'm doing, it kind of gives me that sense of journey and evolvement which I've brought up to myself, and that's what satisfies me.
Very cool, very cool. So you say that a lot of your work, even if you look back from like way early on, it's very much building upon the same kind of basis and idea and like I don't know, kind of mindset in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Very cool. Um, how would you say your community has influenced you? I know you mentioned that you grew up in a very creative family. Does anybody else in your family pursue art, and how does that go?
Yes. So it's not only my mom and dad who was into art, but my entire family had some connection with forms of art. Like I have my some of my relatives who are into performing art, some are doing, like my cousin brother, he did his master's in portraiture. So there always has been influence, and the place I grew up has a lot of appreciation for all different kinds of arts, and that's what kind of motivates me, because when you start the journey to be artist, you kind of sometimes get a lot of negative influences from people saying that, okay, this is not going to get you anywhere, it's just you can have this as an hobby but you cannot really convert this into your profession, it's really tough, and that kind of sometimes discourage you to pursue your passion in these fields. But there are, at the same time, there are these people and there are other people who really motivates you to express yourself, because I think happiness is on top of everything. Even if you have like lots of money, that not necessarily always makes you happy, but I think doing things what makes you happy makes you even more happier, and there's nothing greater than being happy. And art is kind of meditation for me, because whenever I do my art, it's like I forget about the whole world. I'm just concentrated on with my colors and with my canvas. So I think that kind of state, I can reach to that state very easily, having just a canvas and colors in front of me, and that's what makes me happy, and that's what encourages me to stick to what I'm doing. And in terms of, like, if I talk about, I spoke about theme, which I normally follow between human and environment. What's the correlation of them? And there are people talk about a lot of negativity between what human has brought in terms of environment, in terms of nature, but there are also positive things which we can do as an artist. We can educate people about how to look at the environment around you. Just look at it in a much aesthetical way, much appreciative way, and then automatically you will start like contributing lesser to the devastation of nature around us, I would say.
Yeah,
It's just
very
a
nice.
shift of point of view you need.
Yes, so you would say like the kind of emotions that you really feel from your art and what you put into your art would be like happy, relaxed, calm, serenity, that type of like
Yes.
intrinsically motivated. And that is seen in your portrait or your landscapes, I mean.
Yeah, that's precisely what I wanted to say, because being an artist, I can do anything. Like I can show the sad part of the current influence of human over nature, but you can also show the beautiful part of nature, and that kind of inspires you. Like we being in metro, sometimes we forgot how does jungle looks. I mean, you really need to drive down to some forest to see how it looks. And there are like kids nowadays, they don't want to go outside, they don't want to do camping, they just want to be in a room, play video games. So for them, having a landscape in their room can make a lot of difference. And I was reading about this theory of, and an interesting experiment was done that in a kid's bedroom, a person kind of added few landscapes, some really beautiful looking landscape, and that kind of inspired that kid to explore the nature in a better way. Like, he asked that, can we go and visit the actual jungle than just looking it into a picture? So, that's what I think, that okay, if we being an artist have the power to influence the next generation.
I totally agree with that. That is a wonderful thing to hear someone else share. Um, what would you say you would feel is like very specific to your work, like your voice? I mean, is there any like voice behind your work, or like that's really like makes you different from other artists, I would say?
um I think the positivity towards nature, what my painting brings, and that surprise element, which I don't really reveal in my paintings. So as I said, that the overall theme of my paintings is mist. So you will find a lot of things which are not very clear in my paintings. It's mostly foggy. It's some popping out from somewhere, this tree, or sometime you look it from the distance, you see that form in a different way. But even you come close to my painting, you see that same form in a different way. You see the painting in a lower light situation, you see something else, but you brighten up the light, you see more details in the painting. So I think there is always this surprise element you will always find in my paintings, and that's what I believe this entire series of paintings makes me different.
Very cool. And how did you kind of pick this like location for this like misty mystique type set of
uh,
work?
so there is an anecdote to this theme. When I started really working on this, I was back in Seattle, visiting Snoqualmie waterfall, and like it was like a really really rainy day, and huge amount of mist was there, and I haven't never seen that waterfall before, even in the picture. So we walked, and there was like everything white. We could not see anything, and and people were saying that okay, there is a waterfall up down there, and then we see is like the white curtain, nothing. And we were there for like 5-10 minutes. I thought like, okay, let's go, we're not going to see anything. And suddenly somewhere the wind came, and the entire fog just kind of shifted, and we saw this really beautiful waterfall behind the entire misty thing. And that's what kind of triggered me that okay, this is precisely what life is like. There's a lot of times we don't know where the life is going on, and suddenly some incident happened, everything clears up, and then we get this path forward, at least for some duration, that okay, this is what I want to do, unless the next phase of fog comes.
That's really, really cool. I really enjoyed that story, and it very much shows in your work. So that was very cool. I just wanted to thank you again for meeting with me, and so I could really get a better understanding for your work. As I think a lot of times, if you sit longer with the piece, you're able to pick up these small little messages that are really like heartfelt, that are coming from the artist and wanting to be like seen by the viewer. So,
Yep.
once again, thank you so much.